Hello, everyone. We are live. Today is going to be such a fun, educational, just amazing Facebook Live. I have on a very special guest, and typically you see me live for my Healers in Healthcare show. You know what? I have to change this now that I'm seeing we're not monetizing your knowledge to scale your profitable business. We're working on here leveraging business credit. There we go. Now I got to fix this over here. There we go. Now we're on the right topic. So I'm so excited today. I have a very special guest who I've known for the past, 7 years. And he is just such an amazing human being. I'm going to brag on him in a minute. But before I do that, I wanted to just let you know that if you are coming on live with us, you're going to want to go to the top of the broadcast, click the link that says Grant Ecamm Live Access so that if you're commenting, that way I can see who you are and we can engage with you. We have a really special giveaway for the people who are on with us live the entire time. And we're going to be giving away some fun things at the end. So I'm going to wait another minute or so before I bring on my guests because I want to give people a couple minutes to join with us. But in the meantime, I'll just introduce who I am because I know I have a lot of new people to this Facebook group. And so I am Dr. Christina Fontana. I'm a pharmacist, 5-time author, rapid transformation business coach, and I help healers in healthcare to release blocks holding you back, like imposter syndrome, perfectionism, people pleasing, so that you can shine your light, monetize your gifts, and be able to scale a profitable healing business. So if you're down for that, you're in the right group. I'm always doing lives, always giving value in this group. And there's a ton of resources. So if you go to the featured section of this Facebook group, you'll see that too. So I'm always giving a ton of value. So you're going to want to stick around for this because this is a party up in here. Yes, I see some people joining. Awesome. So let me know who you are by clicking on that link on Ecamm Live at the top of the broadcast so that when you come on, I can see who you are. We're going to be doing a fun giveaway that I'm going to let Bryan announce. I'm just going to make the topic a little bit bigger here so that we can, get started. So today we're talking about leveraging business credit to fund your dream in 2023. And I'm getting tons of questions from my clients, from people in this group that I'm like, you know what? I have to go right to the expert. No one else but Dr. Bryan McElderry, who, like I said, I've known for 7 years. I've seen him grow tremendously. I'm going to brag on him for a second here. So he is a serial entrepreneur. I didn't even realize this until recently, but he does STR. He does short-term rentals. So I'm going to bring up Rachel Gainsborough's name again, on who I deeply respect. I didn't even realize that Bryan did this, but he has multiple businesses. He is involved in real estate. He helps healthcare professionals and professionals with financial literacy. And that's really what we're talking about today. And he's absolutely incredible. I've been following him for a while. You know, him and I have been friends for years. We've done multiple Facebook Lives together. And I want to just, as I bring him on, I want to just say I am just so proud of you and everything that you're creating. So welcome. And just tell me what you're excited about today. It's a Tuesday night. What are you excited about?
Oh my gosh. Can
Without
everyone
further
hear me
ado.
clearly, first of all? We're good to go? We're good to go? This
Yes.
is a new experience for me on Ecamm. I've heard of amazing things with this platform. And Christina, it's always good to another interaction with you as friends. And it's so crazy. We were chatting before we get into it just the other day. Like, has it really been this long since we've been in this game?
Yeah.
Right. So it's so gracious that you brought me on. But for everyone who doesn't know who I am a pharmacist. Transitioned out of the practice of pharmacy about 6.5 years ago. I was only in there for a very short stint. So that's how Christina and I connected. My first business was a holistic health coaching practice, transforming bodies holistically, just wellness. And that was an easy transition from pharmacy. People understood that. But the shift came when the life coaching and the business acumen, and now Christina said all these other businesses. But to tie in and to close the loop on kind of why we're here today is because finance was not taught to us,
Yeah.
many of us growing up. Finance was not taught to us in pharmacy, really. And when you're running a business or you're trying to start a business, finance is very important. And it's a hidden gem that I've been working with for a while. And I decided to release it publicly shortly after the pandemic in like late 2020, 2021.
Yeah, I want to just I'm intently listening. I just want to make sure that we're live because I want to make
Yeah.
sure that we are good to go. But and I'm
Okay.
still having more people join this Facebook group. So, all right, let me just make sure that
Of course.
that we are live. It looks like we are. Yes, perfect. Okay, as long as
Awesome.
we're live. So I want to just take a minute and honor
Yes.
how versatile you've been and
Mm,
how you are a true entrepreneur in my mind
mm,
because you are always just pivoting and
mm.
learning and taking risks and innovating. And I think that you know, putting my nerd glasses on, I've been doing a lot of research about entrepreneurship because I'm teaching CE now and I'm
Yeah.
going to PPA this month and doing a CE on expanding opportunities for pharmacists and entrepreneurship. And so I've been really studying what does it take to be a successful entrepreneur, and the top two
Mm,
qualities: risk taking and
yep.
innovation. And you have those both in spades.
I
So
appreciate
I want to just acknowledge you because this is not always easy to move into, especially like you said, we weren't taught these things in pharmacy school about marketing, sales, finance, how to leverage business credit. And that's really why I really wanted to bring you on because you have a unique skill set and expertise that I want our audience to really take advantage of. And I hope that whoever is
Mhm.
watching this replay, that you're getting your pen and paper out to take notes because I know that Bryan is really going to deliver so much value. And he gets
Yeah.
questions about, like, tell me, you get questions about this all the time.
All the time, all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah, it's a common thing, and when we get into the educational piece, it's really gonna be starting from the foundation of understanding finance very simplistically and then understanding how personal credit works. I think because we don't understand how personal credit works, we jump into business and it seems so complex. So I get questions all the time, and you kinda have to, just like in pharmacy we do, you have to slow the roll, educate on the disease state, move into the different options, and then tell the person exactly how it's gonna work for them.
Right. And I can really feel from, so the whole reason, let me just backtrack a little bit. So I see some people joining now. Let us know that you're here. Let us know you're excited to learn about leveraging business credit. Give me your favorite emoji. Drop that in the comments here.
Love it.
I want to dial it back a minute to how I even, decided, hey, I want to have Bryan on here. You had such a great reel. I think it was a reel on Instagram, and you were talking about how to help. You were like, hey, you're a coach, you're a consultant,
Yeah.
and you get a lot of money objections, right? Like, oh, well, I can't afford it, whatever. You said, DM me if you want to learn how to get that client the appropriate business credit card so that
Yep.
they pay you up front, but then they're paying it, that credit card back over time. And I was like, boom, I'm interested in that. So I know that that's such a big, like, maybe we could even start there. And that was what
Yeah.
drew me to then purchase this book, this incredible book, which all of our readers, can you see this now or no?
Not yet.
Okay,
Not
you
yet.
will on the front end. You'll be able to see it. So tell us
Perfect,
a little
perfect.
bit about. I know I'm throwing a lot of questions at you.
Oh,
Tell us,
no, no, please. This is good.
yeah, tell me about this book. Like, what sparked the inspiration for
Mhm.
this book?
Yeah, so I ran in 2020. You remember Clubhouse came out and everyone was cooped up towards the end,
Yes.
and people were like, "What is this thing? Like, let me check it out." Some people went all in on it, some people just couldn't get with it, but I found my arena to join Clubhouse and really dive into long form teaching and content like we love to do, right,
Yeah.
as educators. Um, and I started from my life coaching and business coaching space, but then I shifted into some rooms I was running on financial literacy. Um, what sparked it, to skip ahead of the whole story, is I began to get the same questions over and over and over again in every single room.
Right.
Which business credit cards are the best? How do I understand this? What's the formula? What's the order I should do things in? Do I set my business up first? Do I have to wait 6 months? Like all these like YouTube or guru type of things, that it's old school methodologies. And I taught a new school way of doing it, and it started to really catch on. So I just started documenting all those questions and then answering them in a sequential chapters. And now people have kind of a resource to go back and say, oh, let me go to this chapter on how to do this and let me just read up on it.
That's so smart. And again, I always think of, and I've read this book. Some of it's over my head. I'm like, I don't know what that is. But like, you really
Yeah.
do a good job of breaking it down. But that's how I write books too, is like, all right, what is the big vision? What are the
Yes.
chapters? And then filling in those chapters. So I love that you created this resource
Hmm.
for people to really dive into to get kind of that baseline knowledge. I love how you highlighted the financial literacy and the education piece,
Yeah.
and then building off of that. So, we're going to talk about how to work with Bryan a little bit later, how to personalize this for you in
Hmm.
your situation, and to really have you be able to leverage business credit to fund your dream. So, I guess, yeah, talk about, I get, say someone reads your book, and we're going
Yes.
to do a little giveaway at the end for anybody who's on live with us. You're going to be, we're going to pull a name and you're
Yep.
going to get this book for free. So comment and engage and let us know you're here. What would be the next step? So say that
Hmm.
someone wants to work with you.
Yeah. I guess before we jump into that, Christina, if someone, the biggest problems or kind of setting the stage for where I see people right now, I know your community and mine as well, we are serving people in a space of trying to explore other options for their lives, right?
Right.
Overcoming objections for what they want to do, their purpose, their meaning, and then monetizing that thing. um, the biggest thing that I see is that there's a lack of confidence in doing so, and then you top on top of that a lack of financial confidence, which is meaning you lack trust in yourself and, to me, of
Yeah.
receiving the money and then stewarding it, right? So compound that with actually using other people's money. That's a lot of stress on someone. So what do people do? They just disregard it, but that creates stagnancy. You can't scale, you can't grow if you're competing in the marketplace with maybe someone like myself, where I'm not waiting to collect another check from another client to start my venture, right? I don't have to wait to close two or three more clients. I just go get the money and
Right.
then I'm scaling, right? Um, so to answer your question, where should someone start if they're like reading the book and then where to go next?
Right.
Um, I would say number one, check your personal credit. Before anyone starts working with me, check your personal credit, understand where to check it. Once you have that, understand how to read it. Okay. And then when you understand how to read it, then we can start going from there and moving forward with a consult. So by the time people come to me, we don't have all these educational pieces on
That's
like,
what I love about it, is that you've kind of addressed most of the common questions and said, "Hey,
yeah,
start here. You can answer questions from the book, and then
yeah.
your next step is to, have that consult with you." And what I was hearing you say before when you were talking about the difference in the person that's waiting, and I,
Hmm.
I always think back to, energy. So energetically, when someone
Yeah.
is hovering in hesitation, it's creating, to me, I think of like a hose, right? And there's a kink in the hose because you're just hovering. You're like, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? And that's where I come in with, the block work, because it's really,
Yeah.
it comes down to not feeling safe, and
Yep.
people don't trust themselves enough to take that initiative to go and maybe talk to someone like you, which, and I really understand that. And so I think sometimes it does come back to, do I trust myself to take this action, this empowered action step? Because people that are going to be working with you need to be empowered in some way to be like, all right, well, where I'm at isn't working because I'm not scaling. I'm not getting to
Yeah.
the goal where I want to be. So I need to work with someone like you who
Mhm.
can, as an example with me, I could get a business credit card, talk to you and fund, I'm trying to do a healers and healthcare conference. I could put that on that business credit card. So it frees you up to not have to use your own personal checking, correct?
Yep. That is exactly correct.
Yeah.
So you titled this perfectly. like how to fund your dream,
Yes.
because the idea is the biggest thing, but people's ideas don't come to fruition typically because the barrier of money.
Mm. Like, just let that sink in for a second, everybody. Just like, that's like a mic drop. Can you? I don't know if you remember exactly how you said that, but can you say that again?
Yeah. Uh, people's dream, you titled it perfectly, how to fund your dream. People's dream is typically a barrier in finances,
Yep.
and that's why it doesn't come to fruition. Right? That is the biggest barrier.
Right. And
So,
so if someone's out there right now kind of like
mhm,
hovering and they're like that tug of war. I always see
yeah.
it with, I really want to do this, but the fear and or the economy or whatever is holding me back. What would you say to them?
Mm, God, that's a really good question. The market has shifted over the past really 2 years, but it's shifting even more rapidly now. Now it's shifting every quarter, pretty much. Right. So let me give you an example because people are picturesque. Okay. Christina explained that I have some other business ventures. So one is a car rental business. So I have 6 cars that I rented out on a platform called Turo. Well, I purchased those cars in 2021. I purchased 6 cars in a short window of time, really like 4 months. No money down, all interest rates below 2.5%. So I walk off the lot with 6 cars that generate me money, right? Now, if someone were to get into that, all interest rates are now on those same loans, the same product that I have, are 5 to 6%. We're
Yeah.
top tier, right? So when you ask that question to me, well, how would someone start? How would someone like get rolling? I would say number one, they need to have a understanding of personal understanding of how the confidence in themselves needs to build. And I'll pause right there, Christina, because I get off track for a second, and I'll be very transparent. What question did you ask again, so I don't get off it?
That is a great question. Where
Because I took
so
it away that I thought would benefit everybody.
No, that's okay. I know that we were talking about kind of next. Oh, what I said, like, what would you say to somebody who was
Yeah.
kind of like on the fence, but they really want to pursue this dream, but then they
Mhm.
also are held back by a lot, and then you went into the economy and
Yeah.
a lot of the things. Yeah, so it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So if someone's on the barrier or the brink, I would ask yourself, do you believe enough in yourself and what you have to offer to the world? So Christina's case, if she has a conference that she knows is going to be beneficial to these women, that she can pull off, if that is the thing that she's confident in and finance is the only thing, then what's the holdup? Right. Then there's doubt in really nothing else besides the financial barrier. Now, you might have doubts in the person paying for the event, or am I going to sell enough tickets? Well, all those are solvable problems. You can do pre-sales, you can do other things, but if you need to book the venue, you need to get the supplies, you need to get the flights, all the things in order, then that's a whole different thing. But to answer your question, Christina, I think the biggest thing that scares most people is the fact that they don't understand what return they're going to get.
Right. It.
So,
Yeah, and
yeah, go
that's
ahead.
the risk. Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't understand what return they're going to get. So if you can give me an example in your community, what would someone be wanting to or needing to invest into that they would be needing business credit for?
Yeah, so I hear a lot of people asking, "Oh, like I want to start a business. Do I need to have my own personal money that goes into it? Whatever
Mm,
supplies they might need." I know I just talked to somebody in the group who wants to start a supplement line. I mean,
okay.
things like that.
Okay. Okay. So if it's the supplement line, if it's a product based business, then I would look at have they done enough market research, which you're probably already going through with them. If they have a product market fit and they have people that are ready to purchase, I would collect some type of opt in on interest. So then just say you have an opt in of interest of all these supplements that people are interested in, and you just say get 1,000 people on your quote unquote Kickstarter or pre sale list. Well, now you have proof of concept that someone will want the thing when it launches. And we
Yeah.
know this pre launches, right? So if you have the data and the numbers to back it, then it's less fearful to use other people's money to actually acquire the supplements.
I think really you hit it on the head with the confidence too. You need to have
Yeah.
confidence in yourself that no matter what happens,
Hmm.
you need to be able, and this is entrepreneurship. It's not always
Yeah.
going to go the way that you think it's going to go, but how do you pivot in those moments of uncertainty? How do you
Yeah.
have, the emotional resiliency to, even if you launch something and it doesn't go exactly the way that you want, you take those lessons and then you pivot and do something else. I'm sure we've all done that.
Mhm.
So I think it's that fear of failure. Like this is so much of, like, yes, it's about money, but it's so much about what we make money mean, how we trust
Mhm.
ourselves with investing. Are we confident enough in our ability? I think
Mhm.
it really comes down to that too.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I think that, as I said earlier, the lack of understanding of what it is what is fearful to most people. So if you don't understand, I'm just not going to do it,
Right.
right? So, but if you understand how it works, then you make it more available to everyone, and you can choose yes or no. Most people don't need business credit just to build business credit. I think that's the most common thing. Is I heard I'm supposed to have business credit just to build it, but what's the intention for that? Are you looking to acquire funds, lines of credit to scale, to grow? Are you looking for it for payroll? Are you trying to hire? Like, what is it used for?
Yeah.
Right. So that's my biggest thing. And then you just get down to the nitty gritty, which I can go into if you'd like, but it's just the biggest gems of understanding how this thing works is, to me, the biggest barrier for most
Can I
people.
ask you this question?
Yeah.
What is your go-to credit card that you use or that you like?
Yeah. So my personal one is my American Express Personal Gold, um, my City Premier for day-to-day use. Those are two of my top. Okay. And the reason why that is because when I leave the house, where are people spending most money? Gas, eating
Food.
out,
Yep.
food, groceries, and mostly their bills,
Yep.
right? So I have the best cards that optimize for all those spends wherever I go. Those are the personal ones. Now, business, it's always 0% interest business credit card. That's why I wrote a book on it. So any 0% interest business credit
And
card
here's the
available.
book, by the way, party people. I know, Brian, you can't see it, but they can see it.
Oh, okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool.
Yep. So, how else do you help your clients? Like, okay, so we
Yeah.
talked about the book, education, some of the
Mhm.
different ways that you can utilize business credit. What other things do you want to talk about how you
Yeah.
help your clients with this?
Yeah. So if it's okay with you, I'll just give some gems for people to take away,
Yeah.
right? Just some understanding of how they can take away something with this, and start understanding it a little bit better, which is going to increase their confidence. So, how I help people are in three ways. So, I have three companies, right? So it's when we're focused on the financial pieces underneath Alchemy Credit Solutions. So with anyone comes to me and says, "Hey, I need funding. I need to understand my finance. I need to refinance my car. I need to move the car into my business name." All those types of things. It goes underneath that business. So I'm either finding funding for them, acquiring the credit cards for them, educating them on how they can better maneuver their finances around. And I always make a disclaimer that it's not financial, um, advice from like a financial advisor.
Yeah.
I'm getting people typically that want to understand how to do this more from a creative entrepreneurial standpoint
Yeah.
versus the traditional financial advisor that's going to say, yeah, put it in your SEP IRA, 401k, so on and so forth. Um, but most people, here are the five kind of or three things that I always start people off with. Number one is where to check your personal credit. Most people do not even check it in the right place, which is affecting them acquiring the right business credit card or acquiring business credit in the first place.
Hmm.
So where to check it? Always check a FICO 8 score, not a Vantage 3 score. There are two scoring systems. So we were taught growing up, just don't check it at all because it starts to affect you, or check it on Credit Karma. Credit Karma is not the most accurate or the accurate at all. right? Because of Vantage 3 scoring system. That is not what the banks check when they pull your credit. So it's bamboozling to people when they're like, well, my credit is 700. And then they go apply for a home loan. They're like, well, this says 680. Well, I just checked Credit Karma's because you're checking the wrong score,
Yeah.
right?
I
So
don't think I've
that
heard
uses,
that word in forever, bamboozle.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, I throw out the old school words every now and then. So it just like
You're
blows
talking about Clubhouse. You're talking about bamboozle. There's all
bamboozle. I
these.
just
I
all the
remember
old words.
Clubhouse. Hashtag 2020.
Exactly, exactly. So
Yeah.
that
Okay.
typically opens people's minds up. It's like, ooh, I need to listen to him because I was doing it all wrong from the very beginning. Okay. So the second piece is now understanding how your credit is actually working. And there's 3 credit scores because there's 3 credit bureaus.
Okay.
So if someone asks me, hey, Bryan, what's my credit, or where should I check my credit? I would tell them to check it. But then I would say, well, what is your credit score? Their response to me should be, my credit score on Experian is 730,
Yeah.
so on and so forth, TransUnion, Equifax. Okay. The final piece is understanding the 5 factors of credit. So, how do you actually get that credit score? If you can understand those 3 things, you can manipulate your score. Like,
Okay.
I've raised my score 100 points in 1 month, and I told a person I would drop it and then raise it back up. Like, why would you do that? It's because I know how this credit score works. So if I want right before my vehicle purchase to show 780, then I'm going to do a couple of tweaks in my credit score, and then I'm going to wait until it updates, and then it's going to show 780. I'm going to get a better interest rate,
Wow. It's like
right?
a magic wand. You're like, watch
Yeah,
this.
yeah. So I'll give you another example. I do things live on the fly a lot to prove a point, kind of like a case study that we do in healthcare, right? So I told someone, I said, hey, how many of you have ever gotten denied for a credit card or any type of loan, or you just understand why you got that interest rate? They're like, yeah, I've done that before. Well, let me show you why that is. Okay. I have top tier credit. I applied for 2 credit cards back to back. Okay. One of them got approved from an institution, another one got denied.
Yeah.
I called up my credit bureaus. I removed an inquiry, that inquiry. I came back to that application. I applied again and got approved.
Wow. Okay.
So the reason why I say that is not to boast. It's just saying that when you understand how the system works,
Yeah.
you now have more confidence.
Right. Yeah,
Right?
that totally
No.
makes sense. It's like when you're first learning to ride a bike, you're like, what do I do? What do I do? And then
Yeah.
your parent shows you how to use the brake and how to jump off or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so those are the first 3 concepts. Once people have that, and the kind of the reel that got you, now we're moving into business. Those are the first 3 concepts that you learn on personal, and then you move into business. So business credit, you can go into 2 ways. There are 3 products on business credit typically that fall into the categories of lines of credit, credit cards, and loans, right? Each of those products work differently.
Hmm.
So a credit card, you can get approved day one. So most people, that again just blows their mind. They're like, well, I read an article that said I needed to wait 6 months. I needed to like do all these trade lines. I needed to do X, Y, and Z. And it's just not true. Right. So that completely changes the game, because that means for your audience, my audience, and everyone in the world, they can start a business on Monday, have the articles of organization and EIN by Friday, have a business credit card by the next Tuesday, and
Yeah.
invest into their business. Right?
But you got to take action. You got to
Yeah.
do it. You got to
Yeah.
do the damn thing, as I say.
Yeah. Yeah. So to your point, it's all confidence, which means, they're lacking trust in the process, or lacking trust just from lack of understanding. Right?
Yeah. No, thank you for explaining that. And I know you're just a wealth of knowledge. And look, there we go. Okay, I was making sure. I'm like, are these comments working? Because I had comments the other day that were not showing up. So I need to check this Ecamm live. There you go. We're getting some thumbs up for you. There it is. Okay.
Oh yeah, I can't even see it. So hey, hopefully that's valuable.
Oh no, absolutely. This is great. Okay, cool. No, we are on track. I was making
Perfect.
sure Ecamm Live was working. Drop me some
Yeah.
comments here. Come on, give Bryan some love. Let's go.
Yeah. Well,
If you're
question
watching the
too.
replay too. So
Yeah.
so I'm sure that I want you to really talk about this special offer that you
Hmm.
have that you're
Hmm.
so graciously sharing with my audience, our audience here.
Hmm.
And I'm assuming that a lot of what we just talked about is going to be covered in this call. So tell me about it's called the sequencing call, correct?
Yeah. 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 So when you asked earlier that, how do people like gain benefit from this? Finance is different than what we may do in our coaching, consulting, emotional intelligence. Um, because you have to give enough value for someone to say, I trust opening my financial situation to you.
Right.
So I treat finance a lot different, which is why I'm like pouring out in here a little bit more, because there may be someone on here that's like, I still don't understand. So to answer your question about the sequencing call, that is a 45-minute to an hour call that I am going through exactly explaining from their scenario, opening up their credit profile, explaining to them how their score got to X, Y, and Z, what they can do to optimize that score, how they can raise it, and how it's going to affect them in their personal life and their business potentially. Right. And I do in some life optimizations as well, which we talked about earlier, which is how do you fly for free?
Yep. Traveling.
How do you travel for free? How do you stop paying for, all these little things that you're doing? Like people right now are booking trips for the summer. And I'm like, we don't pay for travel. That money could be going back into your business or your dream. So when that starts cycling and making sense, then that's when, the things start falling into place, which is why I say sequencing call, because there's an order of operations
I love
that you
that.
do things,
Yeah.
right? So,
And what I'm hearing you say too, and I think this is big, like two things that are coming to my mind with coaching. We don't always see, like, I can't see right now what's behind me, right? Because it's like I have to
mhm,
turn my head so
yeah,
you, as the coach, can see what I can't
yeah,
see for myself, right? So
yeah.
that's the first thing. What was the second thing? I had it in my mind. Oh, it and the this like a one-time investment, what I'm hearing you say, it helps you in so many other areas. So we tend to think, especially pharmacists, we're like, okay, well, it's $250 for this thing, but what am I
Yep.
getting out of it? Or what's the ROI or whatever it is? But you're not
Yeah.
seeing that by you hovering back here in fear, you're
Mhm.
not allowing yourself the all the opportunities that are going to come from a conversation with you where you would say, look, you can travel for free, look, you can have this, and then everything opens up to you. But if you're
Yeah.
staying in this little safe box, which I
Mhm.
want to just honor you, if you're there, I get it, but it's not serving where you want to grow. And so that's why this is
Yeah.
titled Leveraging Business Credit to Fund Your Dream, because it takes something. It takes you investing in yourself. It takes you being scared as fuck, taking that action step. And I
Yeah.
understand it and I get it, but that's why you have a coach like myself, like Bryan, and where
Mhm.
they're holding you in whatever you're experiencing, because it is scary to invest in yourself and to grow and to scale. Like I'll even admit I'm trying to, I'm used to my Elevate retreat that's like, oh, it's cute, like 15 people. And I have this vision for a healers and healthcare conference for
Mm.
students, for professionals. I
Yeah.
want to bring together all of these women in this book,
Yep.
show what's possible for entrepreneurship, and it's fucking scary. Like
Yep.
I'm like, oh my god, are people going to come and blah 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 and all of that, but I'm still going to do it.
Exactly.
Even though the economy sucks and even though all of the stories. So I want to just normalize that it's okay to feel fear
Mhm.
and it's okay to lean into that, because usually when you have that desire, that means that you're meant to go for it, and you have things like this, experiences like this where you can come and learn from people who have been
Mhm.
there, done that, have jumped off the scary ledge, and they're able to really help you. So all of that to say, I really appreciate what you're doing and how you're helping people to gain that confidence.
Mhm.
Because I don't know about business credit and all of that. So I'm learning too as I go. And I've been
Yeah.
doing this for 11 years. But again, we weren't taught this. So,
Yeah.
I like to bring people on who, know different, things that I don't know. So I really just appreciate that so much. So tell us about your sequencing call to
Yeah.
action.
Yeah. 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 So it's 45-minute call.
Yep.
Um, how it would go, we would come on the call and you would explain to me a couple of things about what your goals are and what you have had barriers in your finances, where you're trying to take it. By the end of the call, typically a couple of things will happen. If a person's personal credit is in a solid place, 680 or above, typically, that opens the floodgates, right? So a lot of common things that I see is a person will either come away with a new solid personal credit card that they're going to start seeing a lot of benefits from, and then they may also receive a business credit card right then and there, or they will have the sequence in their email about what is coming forth in the next couple of months if they just follow the steps.
Yeah, that's great. So they're going to leave with a solid plan on what to
Yeah.
do moving forward. I love that.
Yeah.
So typically this call is a $500 investment.
Mhm.
Brian is so graciously giving it to all of us for
Yeah.
250. So that's half off from now until Valentine's Day.
I
So
love it.
literally you have an entire week, but I would not wait that long, right? We're talking about taking action now. We actually have a really great question. How do you give enough
Yeah.
value? Here, I'm looking at my comments here. How do you give enough value without giving away the secret of the business? So I'd love to hear
Oh,
your answer, and then I'm going to answer it too, because this is a really
yeah.
great question. Go
That's
ahead.
a really good question. I was always taught to give away the information and sell the implementation.
Ooh,
Just give it away. Just give it away. Because most people don't know how to implement, which is why I come on these calls and I'm just
exactly.
like, I can give you all the strategies, but you're going to get on that application and not know how to fill it out.
Right.
And that's where you're going to start thinking about me. So I'll keep it very short and sweet, give as much as you can away, and then sell the implementation.
I really love that so much. And what I was going to say is something came through for me over Christmas,
Mm,
and it was such a huge epiphany that it's like a no-brainer now. It's a way that I look at wealth
mm,
and in an expanded capacity. So wealth to me is, your knowledge, your skills, your gifts,
yeah,
and when you circulate that wealth in the world, it will come back to you in expected and
mm,
unexpected ways. I literally just saw. I actually want to give this quick story. So I just signed up for a sign language class randomly. I
beautiful.
love Ashley Walker. I don't know if she's in this group, but if not, I'm going to tag her. She's incredible. I saw it on, on LinkedIn. I was like, okay, $250, like boom, done. I just wanted to do it. I want to learn something different. Now I know how to spell my name. I know how to say different things. I've learned so much. Well, I got a call today, literally right before this, an hour ago, for a survey for $250 for an hour of my time about like small business or something like that. So when you do things and you give, and I'm always pouring into our community, I want you to be successful. Anybody watching this, I want you to have the tools. I want to see more healers being activated to create
Mhm.
businesses, to go for your dreams. So that's really what I feel is kind of to your point, Brian, when you're circulating your wealth and your knowledge, it's going to come back to you, whether it's an opportunity, whether it's maybe Brian, you're like, oh, Christina was so nice, she had me on, maybe you mentioned me to someone at 10, 10 months down the road. I don't know. It's not
Yeah.
my job to know. So
Yeah.
to your point, whoever this beautiful person is asking about giving value, give it, and don't give it with strings attached. And that was something I had to learn. I'm like, you know what? I don't give a shit like how it's going to come back. I don't need to know. That's only God's, I'm
Yes.
not God. I can't be like control everything. And I just let it flow how it's meant to flow. But I tell you that story because again, we're so like, gripping on to control and fear, but it's going to come back to you and it's going to circulate back, and your good will impact someone's life and it will spark something in them, and God will reward you. So that's my higher level perspective of how, it's like, wealth circulation. And it's
Yes.
not from that really contracted place of fear and money scarcity. It's like, I'm trusting that I'm going to circulate wealth into my community and I don't care how it comes back. That's really
Hmm.
what it comes down to. So,
Such a good question. Such a good question.
yeah, thank you, whoever did that, because you sparked this whole conversation. Now that we're talking about value and money and all of
Yeah.
that. So I'm going to be dropping the link to book in for this amazing 45-minute sequencing call where Bryan is going to give you the step by step that is tailored to your situation that will help you have a solid plan moving forward to fund your dream without touching your personal credit or your personal checking, which I think is incredible. So,
Hmm.
yeah, actually let's talk about, in closing, how do people, if they want to contact you, I know you're really active on Instagram, but where else should people hit you up?
Yeah. You can join our Discord community if you want to be a part of our Leverage Club community. You're more than welcome.
Ooh,
We run our
Leopard
stuff
Club.
in Discord. Yeah, it's called Leverage Club. We call it our home, our house, just like this is your home. You can join there. You can join on our email list. I'm on all platforms. Back on YouTube pretty frequently now, so you can go check the YouTube and have a couple of resources there. I just want to earn people's trust. I mean, just like that was such a great question to lead off on. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah,
all
well,
social platforms.
whenever we pop off of this Facebook Live, feel free to put, how people can reach you in the
Yeah.
comments. Um, you have a ton of followers on Instagram. Brian's always going live on Instagram. I
Hmm.
love that you're just spontaneous. You're like, oh, I just want to give value, right? It's that giver's mindset.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Love it.
thank you so much for being on.
Of
And I know
course.
that we're going to be years down the road, we're going to still be doing Facebook Lives together and continuing to grow. And I just really appreciate you, coming on candidly, honestly, being of
Yeah.
service and giving my community such amazing advice. So thank you.
Of course. Of course. If anyone has any final questions, really quick before we jump off, maybe I'll answer a couple of.
Yeah, let me see. I'll check my phone too just to see because sometimes the comments are a little bit delayed, but
Yeah.
let me just.
Of course.
Oh, awesome. Danielle's watching. Lisa Foster. Hello.
Wonderful.
Awesome. Yeah, well, if you guys wind up having, wow, we have a lot more people that wanted to join, but they can watch the replay. So that'll be good.
Yeah. So if there's any questions, just throw them out to me. I think I thrive very well on questions, as you can see. So if someone had a perfect like scenario or a question, um, yeah, just throw it out. I'm a
Repeat one more time. You said give away the information, but
sell
something
the
about implementation. What was it?
sell the implementation.
Sell the implementation. Boom.
Yes.
Another
Yeah.
mic drop moment.
Yeah. I to end on that, I think, man, we need to have another live. We can go on a whole tangent, but I think the thing that we do well, and for those that are fearful of offering something, just think about how much value you've given and you giving yourself the permission to invite someone into an additional experience with you. That's all it is. It's just an invitation, right? So after I've given all the value and poured out, it's like, did he really just like, I could just take this and run? Then I have to give myself permission to invite you into additional experience. And that's, as you said, up to God and up to you, because now it's in your hands to want to learn more and want to do more. And if I provide enough value, then you will. So,
Ooh, that's so good too. Yeah.
so
Love it. Well, thank you so much. This is going to go up on YouTube. Give us a like, share this video, go follow
wonderful.
Bryan, and we will see you on the next Facebook Live.
Perfect.
All
See you
right,
guys.
everybody. Bye.